This happened back while I was in college a couple of years ago. Me and my roommate moved into a beautiful apartment in our junior year of college. Our parents made it extremely clear that two small females living alone together was not ideal for some of the cheaper, shady neighborhoods close to our college, and at a certain criteria we had to meet in order for us to live there, and for them to co-sign our leases. Lit sidewalks, keyed entry into the apartment building, lit parking lot, X amount of blocks from campus. So we finally found one that fit our parents' criteria. Our apartment building had a keyed entry for both the front of the building and the back gate that led to the fire escape. Our apartment was an end unit that led to the fire escape, so there was 2 deadbolt locks on it. We loved our apartment. We felt safe. We had fun, truly living the college experience. And then my roommate's boyfriend starts slowly moving his things into the apartment and staying there way more often than he should. I finally tell my roommate if he wants to stay here and use the water, electric, and food I help pay for, then he needs to pay for it too, including our rent. I tell her a 3-way split, or I'm paying only my rent and he can pay the entire electric, water, and trash bill. I think I'm being pretty fair, and even though her boyfriend doesn't have a job, that's not my problem. I work and go to college. Your "I don't want to work at McDonald's" excuse is completely garbage. If you want a place to stay, then go to the Golden Archers. So instead, my roommate starts sneaking him in really late at night after I go to sleep, and leaves on days I'm home. While I'm in class, he's there, then leaves before I come back. My schedule is extremely routine. Well, he can't have a key, so if my roommate is in class or at work, how is he getting in? He can't take my roommate's key, because if he decides to leave halfway through the day, how will she get her key back? All good questions. The solution they came up with is to leave the back door unlocked that leads to the fire escape, and then just jump the fence at the bottom of the fire escape to get back on the fire escape when he's ready to come back, or stick a rock in between the door, whatever works for him. So I'm off of work and school one Thursday morning and decide I'm going to sleep in as long as possible. My roommate and her boyfriend have already left for the day, so naturally they leave the door unlocked. I'm asleep like a pretty princess. It's about 10 in the morning when I hear the back door open to the apartment. I come to just enough to recognize the noise, realize it's my roommate or her boyfriend, and brush it off and try to drift back off. All of a sudden I start hearing someone creep through the apartment. It definitely sounded like casual walking. It is clearly someone stepping slowly and quietly through the apartment. My door to my room is ajar just slightly, but I don't see anything out the door. I'm honestly too tired to get up and look. A couple of minutes pass and I figure that my roommate or her boyfriend are just being weirdos and fall back asleep. I can't be sure how much time passes before I open my eyes, but it can't be too long. I wake up to my door opening. My back is to the door and I am facing the opposite wall. I slowly start to turn over to see why my roommate or her boyfriend would dare wake me from my slumber. And there he is, a burglar in my room, next to the bed I'm currently laying in. A 6-foot-tall, 250-pound burglar unplugging my TV about 5 feet from where I currently am. I immediately pretend I'm just shifting positions in my sleep and continue to roll over with my eyes as shut as I can make them seem. Still open enough to watch what was going on. He hears me shuffling as I turn over, stops, looks dead at me, and luckily doesn't realize that my eyes are open just a tiny bit. He goes back to unplugging my TV, my DVD player, shoves it in a bag he's bought, and steals my change jar and casually starts walking out the front door to my apartment like he came in for a cup of fucking tea or something. After I hear the door shut, I immediately spring out of bed, grab my phone, start dialing 911, all while locking the back and front doors. The dispatcher is trying to calm me down. At this point, I am hysterical. I can't even catch my breath to tell her okay. Luckily, I told her my address before I started hyperventilating. She tells me the cops are there, but they need me to go downstairs to let them in the building because they don't have the key to the front door of the building. I'm so afraid to open the door to my apartment and even look down the hallway. I'm about to walk to the front door and extend my arm out to handle when I hear, "Ma'am, it's the police!" If I didn't get scared enough already. They yell through the door. I am paranoid because the dispatcher just told me they couldn't get in and didn't realize someone probably let them in downstairs. I ask the dispatcher to confirm that the people at my door are actual police officers. She tells me that they are at my door. Okay, cool. I open the front door and collapse right there. My legs completely turn into jello and I just hit the floor. I blacked out for a brief period of time, but they help me up and sit me down on the couch. There's at least 10 officers in my apartment from both the city and college departments. When I look outside the living room window to the street below, there are 5 or 6 cop cars blocking the street. I am being bombarded with questions now. I have to try to find out what's missing besides the stuff from my room. I'm crying, I'm shaking. This is not at all how I see my day off going. I tell them my roommate left the back door open for her boyfriend. They inspect the back door and blah 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 blah. The next thing I knew, my roommate and her boyfriend walk in, and they both have the most dumbfounded looks on both of their faces. At this point now, there is a detective talking to me and I'm giving my statement, giving a description of the burglar, the stuff missing, looking at mugshots, etc. I immediately stop talking to the detective. I look up at both of them and blurt out, "Someone robbed us while I was asleep. He came into my room." My roommate looks me dead in the face and says, "Oh my god, is any of my stuff gone?" That's what you're asking me right now? If your replaceable shit is missing? Bitch. 2 officers take her and her boyfriend aside and talk to them while I'm finishing up with the detective. I call my then boyfriend and he comes over to help me pack my stuff to stay over his house for a couple of days. After failing to recognize any suspects in a lineup, the cops slowly start leaving. After they all leave, I call my parents to tell them what has happened, gather my things and head over to my boyfriend's house. My roommate and her boyfriend never once apologized, not for leaving the door unlocked, but just a general, "I'm sorry this happened to you," type of apology. They never asked if I was okay, if I wanted to talk, nothing. The day my lease ended was the best day of that entire year. I couldn't wait to get away from my roommate, her boyfriend, and that apartment. They never found the guy who robbed me that day. I didn't even care about the materialistic things. He robbed me of my safety and security, and it took a good amount of counseling to get that back. I am also thankful he didn't try to attack me that morning. My friendship with my roommate was tarnished. I haven't spoken to her since. To this day, I don't sleep with my back to the door, and I always have a knife under my mattress.